Hi there guys, Sam here. You joined me with a 2025 Ford Puma ST handling pack, and yeah, this is my first impressions of the car. It's been kindly brought down to me by a subscriber of the channel, and yeah, super excited to go through this car. This is the latest facelift car in this stunning white colour, and yeah, I'll talk to you about some of the extra bits with the handling pack as well, because that's really special. Kind of brings out the Ford performance. You know, I'm a huge fast Ford fan, and with the Ford Puma being the best-selling car in the UK as well, it's got so much to kind of offer and to kind of share. So let's go for a walk around, and then what we'll do, we'll go for a point of view drive, and then we'll go for a bit of a summary of my first impressions. This car is only on 170 miles, and the owner literally picked it up literally 3 days ago and has brought it up here to kind of share. So yeah, super grateful for that, to kind of share it on the channel. And yeah, let's go straight away for kind of a walk around of the new facelift Ford Puma ST handling pack. So as you can see, the sun's just dipped on us a little bit, but it will come back and you get to see it in its more stunning sort of like glory as it is in. So in white, and with the main sort of additions that I really want to chat to you about is the ST handling pack actually. So as part of that, you get these unique 19-inch alloy wheels as well, and we'll kind of go through those to see how they're like. It's running on Continental Sport Contact 7 tyres. The ST gets improved suspension anyway, but what you get on the ST handling pack is you get something from like KW coilovers. Now, these are some of the best in the business, really. Very in keeping with, say, like the track pack. It's sort of models of the Focus that I've driven before as well. So that's going to be super interesting. And that comes as part of the ST handling pack. Now, is it worth it's about £1,000 to go for the ST handling pack to bring out that little bit of edge of performance. Now, this car in particular has the 1 litre hybrid, so it's the 170 PS. And yeah, it's automatic only for this. Yeah, it does look good. As part of like the ST like handling pack and some of the extra bits, there's a lot of like gloss black parts around it, and even the Ford badge is sort of in like a darkened blue. I'll wait for the sun to come back out again and I'll show you the paintwork. The owner's kindly cleaned it. The lights are very like sophisticated as well. I'm really excited to see what it's going to be like to kind of drive actually, particularly with that suspension, because the Puma's obviously got a slightly higher raised ride height anyway. So with the like firmer suspension, you know, it's called a handling pack for a reason. You know, will it be good enough to handle on the road? That's what's going to be super interesting. But yeah, we'll go through more of the side as well. So you get gloss black door mirrors here. You also get little puddle lights, which will kind of show there, and it will basically show up like a Puma badge and a sign. You get to see those 19-inch wheels further as well. Hopefully they come up okay. Red brake calipers, red ST badge, and yeah, looking really good. Proper, you know, serious tyres, but still road biased as well. And that's yeah, that's exciting to kind of share. Now, this owner came from a Focus ST track pack, which I have driven on the channel, Mark 4.5 facelift, and went for this for more economical reasons with him and his partner as well. And you're certainly going to get it out of this car. More gloss black parts sewn down the side. I love the little style, and you look at the width of the car. They're so like nimble and fun, and it's a fast Ford. That's what's really cool about it. Now, as part of the ST handling pack, you also get the gloss black roof sort of thrown in, which looks really nice. And that comes all the way down to the gloss black rear spoiler. And you can see sort of bang side on, tinted rear windows. We get a little bit of gloss black shown down the side there at this ST. Oh man, it looks so cool. And at the back, arguably one of its best views, that rear end with the new sort of design tail lights as well as part of this facelift version. And you get the twin exhaust tailpipes as well. Fords always make a great noise, even ones with only 170 miles, which is mega. The ST badge has like sort of like black surround around it, and the Puma badge is also in black with that Ford badge sort of in a more sort of like darkened blue. And as the sun kind of comes out as well, you get that rear spoiler in gloss black, and it's sort of in plastic there, but it's gloss black across there, all the way across there, blends in well with the roof. And it's a plastic rear bumper. Perhaps maybe it could have been in gloss black, but hey, real exhaust pipes too. Oh man, that looks so special. Check that out. And as part of it, you get it's basically a Puma. So you get so much space. You've got my filming gear in the back here and the owner's sort of compartment. But the mega box stuff, I mean, it's absolutely massive. I mean, is literally just like endless sort of down there, and I'll show you that off camera just now, because that is such a mega part of the car. Just to be able to basically just use it every single day, I think that's really cool, really cool. And yeah, you've got the tailgate, so you push the button and down she'll go, and you get to see a little bit more of the lights as well, because they look really cool. Look at that, look how cool that looks. It's just such a cool looking car. And I didn't realize the owner had gone for it in white, but that white black sort of contrast looks really special. And you've got the LEDs shown at the front as well. Yeah, I mean, I could spend all day going around this car, particularly as the owner's cleaned it. Ford Performance shown there with the front splitter. It's sort of like a more of a plasticky color, and you get the ST badge as well, sort of black out there. But is it like a proper fast Ford to drive? That's what I'm going to find out on my first impressions. That's the real thing. You can go for other options, but I feel the way the owner spec'd it, ST handling pack, is going to be really cool to drive. Now, I don't know if you can even see the new suspension underneath it, but that's going to be super intriguing to kind of, yeah, try and test out. But let us step in to the Puma just to show you a little bit of the inside. As part of the ST handling pack, you get these side skill. This all lights up as well at night. This is different to a normal car, basically. That's specific for the handling pack. You get that, which looks quite nice. Gloss black down the side. The ST Ford Performance seats, the buckets, which have replaced the Recaros in the past, look very nice. And although you get the new dash, as you can see here, you know, I've spent time in the ST line X and also a previous 1 litre Puma ST pre-facelift. You get all that, but you reverts back to the original steering wheel rather than the one which has sort of like a flat top and a flat bottom, which I have tried. So it's cool that this comes back. Aluminium pedals there, red stitching around the side. Oh, those seats look great too. Really great. ST just shown there as well, improving sort of like the cabin, B&O sound system. Lots of cool parts, red stitching on the mats. Oh, so cool, so cool. And we'll briefly just step into the back. As it's a Puma, it's raised up a little bit to make things easier. This owner's got a disc lock, which makes sense. You've got the big sort of like, well, essentially the Ford Performance seats, which give like a lot of bolstering, but it can get a bit cramped in the back potentially, but there's still space, plenty enough. It's still a Puma. It's a, you know, it's got that sort of elegance about it of working as a normal car, and that's a lot about the car. I am so looking forward to sort of stepping in this car and taking it for my first impressions. And yeah, with the walk around, it looks so stunning. So yeah, I'm going to go for a little bit of drive, get up to speed with the car, and then you'll join me for a point of view. We'll go on a point of view, and then afterwards, well, we'll have a bit of a conclusion on this new facelift Ford Puma ST handling pack. I'm super excited to try this, and yeah, is it enough for kind of fast Ford fans as well to kind of share? And yeah, let's go through. Let's take it for a drive. Right, so here we go, point of view in the ST handling pack, and I've put it just in sport mode, but I've been driving it up here just in sort of its normal setting, getting used to the car. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm super excited to kind of share my thoughts on this, because it's super special. But essentially just a little bit around the tech before we get on the move. So you get sort of like sport, normal, eco and slippery to kind of play between. A lot of the tech is very similar to like the Focus or even the Ford Kuga, which I've driven recently as well. So big car tech in a small little package, which is great. One thing I noticed as well, the paddles are sort of black as well, and they're quite good feeling, which is nice. But yeah, let's straight away stick it, as you can see, it's an automatic gearbox. We'll stick it into drive essentially, or sport mode, because I've been driving this in normal. Even the owner hasn't put this in sport mode yet, so this is literally like the first of actually doing it. It's pretty incredible. Quite customizable on the dash and to play around with a few things, which is quite nice. As we seem to have a few cars in front of us, we'll let them kind of move away. And the thing I was kind of concerned about was potentially, is the ST handling pack going to be too stiff? Now the suspension is basically from KW, which is great. This one isn't adjustable. So before on like track pack models, you could adjust it, the coilovers. This doesn't have that, which I think is fine, because it is, as the engineers kind of wanted it. Yeah, the exhaust valves sort of open up as you put it into sport mode. and we can move on our way. In sport mode, it will essentially hold the gear for longer, so you can hear it's revving a little bit more. And because this is a hybrid, it's economical, it's only a little 1 litre, and because they've now got rid of the 1.5. This is quite a good example actually because of the bumps, and actually it's a noticeable louder noise. I actually almost, yeah. It's amazing actually how refined and quiet it was when we didn't have it in sport mode. And there's some proper fun twisty roads to really test out that handling pack. I mean, it's called a handling pack for a reason. Quite surprised they didn't stick with the track pack kind of name, but I wonder if that's because of, big pothole there, just for customers wanting to buy the car, whether or not track pack is a little bit too, well, sounds a bit too aggressive. But from a little 1 litre and from the outside, these sound good as well. It feels pretty special. I'm almost tempted to pop it back into drive, or at least let's pop it into normal for a second. So you can go sort of like normal mode, but you're in sport mode on the gearbox. Okay, that's super interesting. It's amazing how it kind of just comes alive. And it's sort of downshifting earlier too. The suspension feels okay for the road. Now I've driven recently the new facelift ST Line X. Let's actually play with the paddles. Oh yeah, look at that. So we can quiet it down a little bit. Nice feel actually, the button press feels good. Just my first impressions, that's what this is all about. It's telling me there's roadworks ahead, which is nice, as the roadwork car appears in front of us. Pop okay on that. Yeah, and you got like oil temperature and engine temperature and all sorts playing around. Oh, road closed. Steering on these cars always feels nice, and because it's a Puma, you get that extra raised suspension, which helps it out with the fact that it's then got the the new handling pack suspension. And it's so small and nimble. I'm just like buzzing with this, because this is, well, the last new fast Ford performance car that I'd certainly be interested in, since they've ditched the Fiesta. They're still sort of hanging on with the Focus, just a little bit, but I don't know how long that's going to last for. But this is very small and nimble, and yeah, I definitely want to be careful with a big lorry, particularly in a car which has done 178 miles in the last few days, so very new. Another Puma friend there. Now I know these roads pretty well, and there is always loads of bumps just ahead of us. So if you're worried that the ST handling pack is going to be too stiff for you, bear in mind that a normal ST is firm. I've driven them, I've driven the 1.5, I've driven the 1 litre facelift before they changed this dash, which we haven't even really got into yet, which I really like. The resolution's great. We just did a little bit of a reverse, and it's great. It's so lightweight as well. Yeah, this is great. And we've got some national speed limit roads up ahead, which are really, really special. But just talking about kind of what we can, yeah, what we see in front, you get like gear shift indicators, pretty much everything you'd want there really. And this is very much latest Ford, and I saw this dash in the new Focus ST edition from a subscriber too. And just the quality, like genuinely the quality inside, it feels really well refined. Actually a lot of the touch and feels really good. It feels like a bigger car premium than you would expect from a Puma, and I'm generally not just saying that, it feels like it. And it feels even more special than the ST Line X, which had the similar 1 litre engine, just less power basically. This being 170 PS, you know, it's down on what the old 1.5 was. Yeah. And particularly in the winter, I'm filming this late November 2024. You look at all these potholes and bumps. Yeah, I can certainly straight away, my first impressions is this car, for me and my tolerance, this feels okay. And I couldn't really say that about the Focus ST track pack, which the owner previously had. Now you have got a lot of lane keeping assists and blind spot assists and cruise control, radar guided cruise control works and everything, and you can go through the settings and turn these off and turn things on. You can play around with traction control. You can do quite a lot, which is nice to have. And you can obviously use the paddles on the on the steering wheel too. There feels like there's so much to talk about this car, and that's good when you get to try a new car. So this steering wheel is essentially the same from what was in the Fiesta ST and the older Puma ST. All new Pumas have that sort of stranger look to it with the flat bottom top and the flat bottom. I had no issues with it. It was also quite, yeah, a little bit thin, but I prefer this. It feels nicer. I don't know why they've kind of retained this in this generation. They probably have their reasons. Perhaps I was trying to think if it was to do with the buttons or something. Does this have that performance that an ST kind of deserves to go out on? I just wonder with Ford engineers, you know, they're trying to bring out the Ford performance in this car, and with it being a hybrid and a 1 litre, does it have that? And yeah, I mean, like straight away you can see here it's quite tight and twisty, and having a smaller platform car makes things better. It's a little bit bumpy, but then the road is generally quite bumpy, but it feels like it's like a plush sort of bumpiness with the way those Sport Contact 7 Continental tyres are working, and the 19-inch wheels with the suspension, yeah, kind of go. And yeah, it feels good. And what we'll do is when we'll go up and down on this sort of like twisty part on or in sport mode. Once we've done that, I'll just pop it into normal mode and just show you that split personality, how it can just go into sleeper mode. The owner was telling me he literally just drove down and the car basically drives itself, which is nice. You know, you can just chill out on the M25. Economy's really good, as you'd expect. It's a small capacity engine, it's a lighter car. It is a hybrid. It stops kind of all the time and cuts the engine, and it's designed for modern day 2024. I mean, this is a 74 plate car. It's only really just rolled off the production line. And I'm liking it on these kind of twisty roads, generally because of its size. And the suspension, although it's firm, it's not like unbearable. And I wanted to kind of, I could already feel like at the front end that it kind of wants to go, and you can push on in this car. I'll try a bit of the paddles and then I'll just try it in normal drive. So here's the national speed limit sign. I don't know how quickly they're going to get away, but we'll knock it down a few gears. Second gear. Yeah, it feels alright. Bear in mind, this is a front-wheel drive car, 225 section tyres, which is quite wide with these new alloy wheels. I don't know if they're lightweight wheels, but they look flipping amazing. The front wheels are still sort of, you know, they still got to put through the power, and I'm not even going full throttle. You can see it's kind of slippery and challenging on that front. Yeah, I'm not like missing any power for the road. It feels good. It feels really, really direct actually. And I think the more you get up to speed with this, and the more you kind of play around with settings as well, like if I was gonna like dedicate myself and go out for a fun drive, it makes a good noise, and the bar, that's super cool. I would probably like turn off traction control. I'd find my own sort of special setting, make sure like all the lane assists are off and everything. Although it's not too intrusive, and because the car's so small, it's quite easy to sort of, yeah, make your own kind of line. And being an auto as well, not having a manual gearbox, you can focus on more on what this car is about. Being a handling pack is designed to be, well, good at handling. That's the point. The steering feel, it's quite, I've always noticed it with these ones, they self-center quite quickly, so they'll pull back. So it's sort of always forcing itself back to center. I'd probably rather it didn't do that, but that's just one thing. Brakes feel good. And when you do turn in, you can really feel the front end. You can feel those tyres, and you can feel what the wheels are actually doing, which is impressive, I would say, for that engagement in 2024. I didn't really expect that. The gearbox feels good as well. We'll just go through, stick it into fifth, and it obviously quiets down quite a lot. And then you can down it, and you're still probably getting really good economy too. You've got the indicator stalks and everything on just the left-hand side now, rather than anything on the right. Oh, I think my friend was telling me how to turn off lane keeping assist. I think you just hold this down. Speed warning. So speed warning's off for us. I don't know if that's lane keeping as well off. I don't know. These are super fun roads. In fact, some of my favourite roads that I've ever been down. A nice like burble from the exhaust. It generally sounds good. It doesn't sound fake. So if we'll just slow down a little bit, stick it into second. Oh, nice. Oh no, I mean that was 58 miles an hour, which is all you can do on this road, and it feels really, really planted. I'm really sad that there's cars in the way, unfortunately, because this car would be great at just sort of like placing its way through. Apologies for the sun, that is quite bright.
Push down.
Is it pushed down?
Yeah, push there. Yeah.
You can probably do it. Oh yeah, there you go. I'm learning the new buttons on. Oh yeah, that's quite handy actually. Just literally push it on the side. Yeah, that is good. Yeah, does it feel like it's losing a bit of traction? Or I couldn't really tell. Yeah, I was trying to. I didn't go full throttle. It feels like it hooks up. I don't know if these have a mechanical zippy diff or if it's an e-diff or something, but it feels very capable at the front. Okay, here we go. We just did a nice turn in the road and the car did it well. Let's see what this car's like. I've got it in the manual mode as well on the paddles. Okay, I'm smiling. Oh, nice. Hooks up. It's also got like a little burble to it every single time. Gearbox feels responsive. Yeah, what a car. Yeah, that's fun. The ST handling pack definitely has handling pack characteristics, and the suspension really works with that raised ride height. It means that you're not so crashy and you're not so like, you know, it's not uncomfortable. But because of the setup, it doesn't really roll as much as a high riding sort of SUV, being a sort of smaller as well. I'm super impressed. The gearbox as well. You get that sort of like burble and on the gear shifts. I'm not feeling I'm missing a manual at the moment. There's a little bit of a bumpy section there, and the wheels being 19-inch and wider, it's obviously going to pull it a little bit because it's a lighter car. You know, it's not a heavy. It feels responsive. I don't know if that's because the hybrid, it just pick up. It's just got that like electric sort of surge. You know, I drove an electric car recently, actually, a very powerful one, and yeah. I mean, I feel like I'm all over the back of this XC90. And, you know, he's in a big, heavy car, probably weighs about a ton more than this. And the little Puma ST handling pack is showing its own. Ah, it's brilliant. On those roads as well. Let's have one more back on as we head back in sport mode. Then we'll stick it into normal mode, and I'll just show you how this car can become refined. And then we'll have a bit of a conclusion. Does it make noise in the tunnel? Not, I think it doesn't pop and burble like older cars, that old generation before emissions took over us. Yeah, hopefully you can see okay in the point of view. I'm going to slow it down a little bit, stick it into seconds and go. Got a lorry in the way. Brakes feel really inspiring actually, because they've got really good feel to it. They're not so grabby, and it's a really cold day. Oh, it's so quick down here. You would like genuinely, with 170 horsepower is actually enough. You would be hustling the back of any car. If you went on like like a drive with some enthusiasts. This is awesome. Like, this is, oh, okay, yeah, I'm sold, really sold. If you're into your driving, which I'm assuming you are if you're looking at an ST, you got to go for the handling pack. It's an absolutely no-brainer. You don't lose out on that refinement. A normal ST is still firm, but you're getting that extra sort of part of it. The 19-inch wheels as well, they look the part, and they really do go. But it's that suspension and the fact that you get this steering wheel, because my understanding is with normal full fat STs, you'll get the older steering wheel without going for the handling pack. So, and I think it feels great. Stick it into first. Oh, we got a little bit of a kick. It feels very plush. This is not Ford. This doesn't feel very Ford to me, because it feels more refined than I would expect from a Ford. Like a very plush feeling car. Foot down. And I haven't once treaded above 60 miles an hour, and I'm not missing out. I mean, look how quick it is in the corners. I mean, I've driven, so my background, I've had a 440 brake horsepower Focus RS edition. I've driven this owner's track pack. I've driven a lot of proper fast Fords. Probably had more fun in this, with the front wheel drive sort of skipping away with the traction. And the handling. Yeah, it's definitely a handling pack, not a track pack. It's a handling pack for the road. It's absolutely great. It really, really is. And as promised, and I'm sure it's the less exciting part, if we just stick this car in sort of like, just from the buttons, if you scroll through it in sport, we can stick it into normal mode, or even eco mode, go really full out on the comfort. And everything sort of goes settling down in sort of like a more easier way. We're still on like the paddles with the sport gearbox, just down, as you can see down there. But if we knock it into drive, it just goes so refined. It doesn't change the suspension. There's no adaptable suspension in it. So you're gonna get that same sort of handling characteristics, whether you're cruising around in normal or eco. And I quite like that yeah, you know, it's a small packaged car. Yeah, and everything goes calmer, the colours go calmer. The steering does it change a little bit? Steering feels about the same. It still feels really direct. I mean, it's going everywhere that you want it to go. You literally pull it and it's straight there. So super refined. Yeah, I'm just absolutely buzzing. I'm gonna have a little bit more time driving this car to reflect, and you'll join me with a bit of a conclusion on this new Ford Puma Facelift 2025 handling pack. And yeah, smiling, really, really smiling. What a cool car. Really, really great. Oh, so that is absolutely incredible, just going for that drive and spending more time in the car. And actually, I'll just splice in now, because what you can do off the Ford app, you can actually see everything. So you can see the mileage of the car, you can see like, yeah, how much like percentage of fuel it's got left. You can also start and turn off the car. And this is the first time the owner tried it, and the first time, obviously, I tried it. And yeah, watch this and see how it works. Slide to turn on vehicle. So let's try that. And there we go. The car started, and then we can turn it off. So it's waiting, and straight away, there we go. How cool is that for the app? That's super amazing. Yeah, so it just did the trick, and it's very modern technology to say the least. And I've been learning so much on my drive on this car, and the biggest takeaway for me is how much plush quality the car feels. Because the suspension is so sophisticated and expensive, I feel, because I believe it's from KW, it really does improve the whole aspect of the car. And just inside, it feels like really good quality. I love the sort of black type paddles and just the feel of the car. The red stitching really works with the steering wheel. Yeah, and the owner literally only optioned the handling pack, and then the go for white paint. That's it. Stitching down the side of the leather, the ST badge. You got some cool lights that come up too. The seats really help, not only for comfort, but also for the handling aspect, because it's a fun, nimble car. And there's so many things to play around with. But if we just turn it on just briefly, you get the Puma badge shown there. Press brake to start. Return to normal mode. The screen is really, really nice. One thing I've noticed is this is my view. It cuts off a bit of the screen, just that last little part from the wheel. So that's one thing to notice. The quality of the buttons on the stalks are really good as well, because you can wash the windows by pushing down that button, and it doesn't feel like that old sort of traditional cheapy quality of what Ford can sometimes be known as. Certainly for me, it feels a bit more quality, which is nice. I love the sport mode button, which you can go into, and how you can play through it. I think we'll need to probably start the car, so foot on brake and start her up, and how you can play between that. And then you push, you can see how it actually makes quite a bit of a noise. And then you've got loads of things that boot up, press mode. There we go. I mean, look at that. You get just a cool little graphics. I mean, that is top quality stuff. And you can see how responsive it is for the Sydney Opera House, sport mode, the sound of the car changes, slippery mode as well. And that changes the throttle response too. You've got heated seats shown here, which you can scroll between. Loads and loads of functions. Yeah, you can then turn off traction control with an actual button, and the parking is incredible. So you navigate to parking. Oh right, it's going to find us a parking spot rather than anything. So if we go to camera, look at that. And I was just chatting to the owner. It looks like Grand Theft Auto. You know, if you know one of those old GTA games, basically in the 90s when they first came out, I can remember it was like GTA London on the PC. You had like those sort of square brick cars to play around with. That's what it's like. And you can really angle everything up so well and zoom in and play around. It feels like big car tech in a small car. B&O sound system. The dash didn't really bother me at all in my drive. I didn't find it too distracting or, you know, anything. It looks a little bit awkward, but it didn't really have any effect when I was on it. USB-C ports, USB-A ports. Just, I mean, I'm actually just blown away and lost for words. I'm gonna have to turn off the car. Just so many cool things about it, and we're just clocking up to, well, it's 197.3 miles, and trying the sport mode as well. It makes me so happy, because I literally messaged the owner yesterday, and I was like, got kind of so almost high expectations for the car. Heated seat element feels good in these Ford Performance seats. You can probably tell from my reaction, I'm actually lost for words. I feel it's a real proper fast Ford, and the handling pack for me is a must-have option. I think if you want an ST, you're going to know it's going to be firm and it's going to be sporty. Go the full width, and you get all those extra parts with it. You get the blacked out sort of badges. You get the blacked out like pack almost, the gloss black roof, the cooled side seals. You get like the black paddles as well. You get that suspension, which means more to me. The brakes feel really good. You get those wheels, which look great, all as one package. Whereas even the gloss black roof you can option separately at a cost. But let's go outside. I'm going to be sad because this is going to be the last time I'll probably see it on the walk around. That's how much this car is kind of meant to me. The car looks great with the red brake calipers and those wheels. The Continental tyres feel great. It felt like such a fun car that you could really hustle. You've got ST sort of like almost like built into the wheel. And yeah, 225 section 40 rubber with those lights, with sort of like the slightly more blacked out Ford badge or dark blue with the ST badge there, the front of it, just as the sun's kind of changing to us. Ford, thank you for Ford engineers. I'm so blessed and grateful that they've made this car. So grateful to my subscriber for coming down and sharing me his car, only a few days old. And yeah, my channel is a big community channel, so please do get involved in the comments if you want to know anything about this car. I'll be happy to share, and I will have plans to meet up with the owner again in the future as well to share it. And it was absolutely brilliant to drive. That's what Fords are all about, but more refined, more easier to use sort of day to day. That's what's a big part of cars, and looks are subjective. I think it looks great with the white, the black sort of element and the contrast. I think the owner made a good choice, and it's very just simple. You get in and go. No real problems with the gearbox. Perhaps not as responsive as say like a Focus ST, but good enough. There's going to be about a million more things that are going through my head right now about this car that I want to talk about. So just to get involved in the comments, and I'll be happy, you know, I get back to everyone as I can. And if you're getting a Puma ST, it's a must-have. It's a must-have option. You've got to go for the handling pack. I don't see why you wouldn't, because the normal car is going to be firm anyway, so you might as well go for this one. But it feels very sophisticated, the suspension. It feels very premium and expensive, but usable. Like, I found the owner's previous Focus ST track pack a little bit too firm. This I can live with. And I had so much fun that When you get it up to speed up the revs, it perhaps doesn't make as good as a noise as it does low down. It makes a bit of low down grumble. When you're up high, you get that sort of like buzzy kind of sound, and the exhaust doesn't perhaps burble as much. It's quick and responsive because of the hybrid. It's almost just instant reaction in sport mode. It absolutely flies down the road, more than capable for normal speeds. You don't need any more power than 170. I mean, I remember when Ford made the Focus ST 170, what more do you need than that? It's such a, just blown away. What a car, just absolutely brilliant. I kind of want to stay here forever and drive it, and yeah, looking at it, it looks great. Let's have one last little walk around so you get it with a little bit of the sun. Those gloss black parts, you can see the paintwork. I believe it's a solid paint, so it's not gloss. Those wheels with the Continental tyres look super special, but I was saying to the owner as well, actually not too bad for curbing or anything like that, because Continental have quite good sidewalls on the tyre to protect it. The brakes are pretty big. I mean, you can see how much they fill the 19-inch wheel, both the front and the rear as well, just kind of shown in there. Nice, decent, well, a little bit smaller at the rear with the Continental tyres. And you get the lights as well, it's just sort of that facelift design from the whole car. The black Puma badge and the exhaust and the ST stuff there. Gloss black roof. Oh, a million things I could say about this car. It's certainly making me smile. Can I recommend it? Yes, I can, pretty much 100%. I think it's a really, really good car. If we unlock it, we'll get the lights, which I think are probably one of the best parts of it. It's a very stylish car for me, and an easy car to use day to day. I mean, check it out, particularly with that roof. It looks really, really nice. And I'll try and get a driving shot as the owner's kind of leaving too. I don't really know what too much to say. I've just noticed there's something's coming out a little bit there. Maybe that's one thing with potentially Ford's build quality, I don't know. But to drive and to live with, Ford Puma ST facelift 2025 handling pack, what an option. And Ford aren't shouting about this car. They barely explain it at all on their website. So hopefully, if anyone else has got one, get involved in the comments. If you're thinking of getting a Puma or a normal Puma, I've driven the ST line, that'll be on a video up here, the ST Line X. I've driven a previous 1 litre pre-facelift ST, the 170 PS. So I've had the realm of all of them. And yeah, get involved in the comments. And yeah, I'll be happy to get back to you further. And yeah, like and subscribe, because that's what makes this channel and allows for future opportunities. Thank you so much. And yeah, just blown away. Really, really great car.